rolling on my end. Fathom got audio rolling over there.
Yep. Give me a check 1 2 real quick.
Check 1, check 2, check 3. What is this?
Oh yeah, we good. We ready. You hit record on that, Jay?
Yes, sir.
All right, bet.
Thank you.
DTLR Radio, your fashion, your lifestyle, your music. You're plugged in with Fathom Got the Juice live from the Unruly Sprayground Studio. As we always do, I hope you all are having a wonderful fall. Yes, summer is over, fall is here, but that means, guess what? We got more people stopping by as always now. Today we have a special show, special guest, legendary guest to me, okay? Mr. Robin Thicke is in the building. How are you today, sir?
We good, man. We happy to be here.
Robin Thicke, what is going on? How is life? How does it feel to be the legendary Robin Thicke?
Man, right now it feels good. You know, we go through so many ups and downs in this business, and it's nice when you have a period where things are going well, family life is good, career life is good. I got a bunch of new music. I'm really excited to play for the people in the next few months. The album is going to be out just before Valentine's Day. So
oh, yeah.
We got the first single, I Know What to Do, just dropped. And we're about to drop the remix and the video, so everything's looking sunshine right now.
Now, I know what to do. I hear Little Birdie told me we got a remix coming with a special guest. How did you pick who was going to be on this remix?
Well, it actually was shout out to my man City from Run It Up Records. We had a hit earlier this year with one of his artists named Lizen on a remix called Why that went viral and then became a hit. And then so he reached out to Dream Doll and she killed the verse, you know, and so now we got a remix with Dream Doll dropping this Friday.
Dream Doll is a friend of the family over here. She's been over here plenty of times. After we done, I'll show you how many times she's written her name on this wall. It is absolutely crazy.
She crushed it. She was great. She killed the video. She did a great job on the record, you know. So shout out to Dream Doll. We love you.
Now, what's inspiring this new Robin Thicke music? What is inspiring the comeback? You was on a bit of a hiatus. I feel like, you know, you've been busy. We've seen you on The Masked Singer and all those things like that. But what inspired you to come back into this music space?
Well, for me, I never stop making music. I just wait until I feel like I've got enough great records that it's time to put it into an album. But, you know, music is the center of my universe. It's also my life story. I put everything I'm going through into my albums. And so right now, you know, I've been through a lot of tragedies over these handful of years. I got divorced. I got sued. My father, Alan Thicke, suddenly passed away. Shout out to Alan Thicke. My manager passed away. Then my house burned down. Then my mentor, Andre Harrell, passed away. So that's all in about 6 years, all that happened. And I had 3 kids, three more kids.
In that 6 years?
Yeah, in these last 6 years, yeah. So,
oh, man, I know how you coped through it.
Yeah, so, well, you know, the kids actually helped. I mean, to be honest, when my father passed, you know, there was a huge void in my life. He was my idol and my best buddy. And so having 3 kids, you know, having 4 kids now, there's so much love in the house. There's so much love around me, and that's the best I can do to replace my favorite guy, you know?
And that makes a whole lot of sense. Speaking about your father, what was the biggest influence that he left, or what was the biggest piece of advice that he gave you?
Well, the biggest influence is just how to treat people, how to be good, how to be kind, how to be funny, or you know, be able to tell a good story. But mostly he just treated people with kindness and respect, and he was very dignified, and he treated other people with dignity, you know? Did
you realize, at what age did you realize who your father was?
Oh, I mean, there were so many perks, you know, like being a young kid, and he would take me so many places. He loved taking me, you know, to golf tournaments, tennis tournaments, little vacation trips. So he took me all around the world, and you know, just watching the way he interacts with people and the way he carried himself, he was very regal, as Cedric the Entertainer said. He always carried himself like royalty, you know what I mean? Like he was his own royal. And yeah, he just left a great imprint for me on how to treat people and how to do things.
He absolutely is still royalty and you're the legacy. I mean, writing the theme song for Different Strokes. I mean, it doesn't get any.
Now the world don't move.
Listen, that is a classic. That is a classic.
That's Dad right there.
When they told me, they said, you know, he wrote that. That's my jam.
And that's him singing. That's him singing the vocal.
Singing
that's why I did the impression.
Wow.
Now the world don't move. That's my dad.
Beat it, just one stroke.
And my mom sang the Facts of Life theme song.
Really?
Yeah, that's my mom singing Facts of Life too. So.
Man, so you had some pressure growing up.
Well, you know, I think I put that pressure on myself. myself. I always wanted to be an artist. You know, my dad was the most charming MC. You know, like he could host any parade or any charity or any event. But I always wanted to be like an artist. And he gave me great advice to make sure I learned how to write my own songs, play an instrument, produce my own music, and that way you'll always be able to create. You won't need anyone else to create. And that was the best lesson he gave me, because even now, years later, you know, making a comeback, whatever you call it, I can make my own music, you know, and that's a beautiful thing.
And you're rare. You're a gem at this point, because we know the way the music is nowadays. Everybody isn't making their own music, and it's just a lot going on. Things have changed so much. So for you to still be how you are, like that, you so hands on with your music and your product, it means a lot, you know, and it's inspiring, of course, to a lot of other musicians coming up in this game. Yeah,
and you know, I was doing another interview and somebody mentioned, okay, so 15 years ago you were lost without your woman, and now you know what to do with all that, you know, and I realized, wow, that's actually kind of poetic, that after all the tragedies I've been through and all the hardships, and here I am, you know, and I have a wonderful, beautiful life. I have the life I always dreamed of, and now I just want to make sure I don't make the same mistakes I've made. I got to learn from my mistakes, and I got to grow. I continue to grow as a person and be grateful to God, you know?
I mean, it got to be hard being Robin Thicke, you know, especially before these last 6 years. Before the last 6 years, it had to be really hard being Robin Thicke, I would think.
I don't know, you know, I can't complain, you know, like Jay-Z said, I'd complain, but who'd listen?
I'd complain, but who'd listen? Now, you kind of answered this question a little bit, but I still have to ask you, with everything you've been through in the last 6 years, you know, you mentioned divorce, death. How is your mental really? Like, how do the kids keep you mentally sane? How is your mental, like, how did you really get through that?
You know, just a lot of patience, inner strength, and like I said, just really learning from your mistakes. Like, I don't want to go down that path again. I don't want to be in that situation, and I don't want to put myself in those situations again. And you know, yeah, it's like I wake up and I've got these 4 little beautiful faces that need breakfast, and need to go to school, and need hugs, and need smiles, and need after-school activities, and all this stuff. And Dad's got to, you know, step it up. I don't have time to be messed up. You know, I don't have time to be faded and all that kind of stuff. I got to be there for my children.
Now, Dad is on the road, so how does that work?
Say that again?
Dad is on the road.
Well, luckily, most of the tours that I agree to or I like to do are weekend shows.
Oh.
So, yeah, like Boyz II Men, their fathers also, you know. So we get to do the shows on the weekends and then spend the time with our families during the week. It's a perfect situation.
You know what's crazy? I never noticed that all those shows be on the weekend.
Yeah, most of them. There's like one Thursday, yeah. But it's almost all Friday, Saturday, Sundays, or Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, and stuff like that.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
You go out there, look, Dad got to go work on the weekend, I'll be back.
Well, I'll knock it out on the weekends, and then I'll see you on a Sunday night.
Now, have they noticed who Dad is yet?
Well, my 14-year-old son, for sure. You know, he's got his friends are following me on Instagram now and stuff like that. And he sings, and we talk about music all the time. Like, he's very studious and very educated on the history of music, and very intelligent young man. And now he's writing his own songs, and he plays a little guitar, and he likes to do the plays and musicals. So him and I are very connected as far as that goes musically. But my daughters, I think they're more just, and my littlest son, they're still just kind of figuring it all out. Like, okay, Dad's on some show. People like to ask him for pictures. He makes music. But yesterday was really cute. They were all playing. I was playing some of my new album, doing a little work outside. And my son... my fiance went and asked my son, "Do you want me to play some music?" And then he said, "Mm-mm." And she goes, "Why? Do you want to listen? You just want to listen to Daddy?" And he goes, "Mm-mm." So he just wanted to hear Daddy's music.
Hey, teach him early. Teach him early.
Come on, man.
Listen, who's your favorite artist? It's Dad. It's Dad.
Well, my favorite artist is SZA, but
your favorite artist is SZA?
Yeah, my son too. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I love SZA.
That is nice. Have y'all had the chance to link up yet?
We're working on it. That's why I'm waiting until I finish this album. I'm a few songs away from just getting some things, and then I want to go to her and see if she's interested in any of the records.
I mean, I'm sure she'll be interested.
We hope so.
Robin
we hope
Thicke.
so.
Like, who wouldn't be interested in doing a record with Robin Thicke? Like, you're Robin Thicke. I thought it was so dope. You know, I've been noticing the comeback or the full return of Robin Thicke in its entirety. And the first thing I can say I noticed was seeing you on For Shooters Only, and I was shocked. It looked like it was in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I saw it, and I was like, Robin Thicke is on For Shooters Only.
Was it For Shooters Only? I think it's Drop the Mic, right?
Yeah.
Was it originally?
Was the
I think you dropped the mic.
I'm pretty sure it was dropped in the mic. That's the one that went viral, where the mic is just
Yeah.
hanging there, and I walked into the frame, and I'm singing on the mic on the
So I think
rooftop in Atlanta.
That's Zay's Zay, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Zay?
I think so.
Yeah, that's Zay. I think it's called For Shooters Only.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what it's called. I'm almost 100% sure.
Okay.
Because it's the big one everybody else has done.
Maybe they put it on both, or maybe they added it
I don't know,
for
I thought it
Shooters
was Zay,
Only.
but either way, right? That
Yeah.
was the first one I saw.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is dope.
Yeah, and that was the remix. That was the Y remix that I was singing. Yeah.
Yeah, so
With
I
Lizen.
thought that was so dope.
Thank
and
you.
I feel like you were the first person from your class I've seen step out there and do something like that.
Yeah, it was a different idea, but we were very lucky that it went viral over the weekend, and and it was number 5 on iTunes on Monday. So it shows you this viral world, how fast something could happen.
How do you adjust to the viral world?
I'm still adjusting. I'm an old school head. So TikTok. I have TikTok now. I've got
That's what your page is called, TikTok?
Yeah, TikTok. And I've got
that's
I like to share as much as I can on Instagram, because it's just become such a great promotional platform. If you want your fans to know where you're going to be, what you're doing, or when you have a new song out, and you want to get to them, you got to use those platforms.
You have to. You absolutely
have to. Yeah.
What's on Robin Thicke's playlist these days?
Oh shoot! Well, right now when I'm in album mode, I don't play. Yeah, it's just because I'm playing instrumentals. I'm writing new records. I'm out there. I really don't want to put much else in my head. I'm still huge fans, like I said, of SZA. I love Billie Eilish's new album. I love her. I love Victoria Monet.
Oh man.
Mooney Long. But yeah, right now I'm in album mode, which means just shut the doors, and get yourself some space to write.
In.
Yeah.
So what's your studio process? Like, you've been doing it for so long. What's your process?
Yeah, the thing is, when you've been doing this long, you don't have to spend as much time in the studio. And creative people, we don't necessarily just keep grinding and grinding and grinding, because you kind of wait for something magical. So sometimes you're there just to be in the studio and touch things up. But the great songs themselves are usually like a bolt of lightning. You're sitting there, somebody says a comment, or you feel something really strongly, and you say that phrase out loud in melody, and the rest of the song just kind of comes.
Now, coming from the man that made Lost Without You, when did you realize that song was out of here?
I have a fun story actually about that. I was in it was the day after the Grammys. Bono and U2 had just won Album of the Year and Record of the Year for It's a Beautiful Day. Mm-hmm. And I was invited to Jimmy Iovine's office, the head of Interscope Records, with Pharrell, who was going to be there too. And so I'm going to meet Pharrell. We're going to have a little meeting with Jimmy. So I walk into the room. It's Pharrell, Jimmy, and Bono sitting on the couch. And we sit for a little bit and just chatting it up, and then Pharrell says, "Yo, play that record." So I play "Lost Without You," and Bono kind of leans back in his chair and he's listening to this song. That's you singing. Wow. He goes, "Jimmy, this is a very important record." And that was the beginning, because Pharrell had already told me he thought that was a very special song. And I remember the first time I actually ever presented it to Pharrell, I sang it live. I hadn't even done the vocals. I had the song written, but I hadn't done the vocals yet. I kept singing it live for everybody, like for 6 months, because I just liked singing it live.
6 months.
So I would sing it live for Pharrell the first time when we met, and we were considering me joining Star Trek. We met in the office. I sang him "Lost Without You" live in person, and he signed me. He signed me to Star Trek.
You sat on that song for 6 months?
Easy 6 months. And then I did the vocal, I think 22 times. It was the most vocal tracks I've ever done on a song. I was never happy with the vocal, and finally my producing partner goes, "You're done. It's done.
What year was that?
Stop singing the damn song."
What year was that?
Probably about 2005.
Man.
Or the beginning of 2006. Yeah, probably 2005.
What? Almost 20 years in.
Yeah.
What would the
ago.
old Robin say to the new Robin?
What would the old Robin say? You mean what would the new Robin say to the old one?
Robin. Yep,
that's what you mean. Yeah. I would say don't be so hard on yourself, and don't take everything so serious. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the ride as much as possible.
What's been your favorite part of the ride?
Just doing what I love to do. I love to make music. I love the idea that a song doesn't exist until I make it. And I love the fact that I get to go out on stage and see the people that like the music and sing it for them in person and watch them smile and sing back and dance. The people that have been listening to those songs or albums for so many years, and now we're in person and it's right there and the magic is happening in real time. I love being on stage and I love seeing the audience and interacting and creating magic, a magical night for them.
That's fire. When I'm typically on stage and it's way smaller crowds than what you have to deal with on a daily basis, I don't even think I look at the crowd. I just look outward.
Sometimes, sometimes that's good. You go inside or you just look right above their heads, you know what I mean? And then, Beyonce being the greatest performer in the world, a lot of times she's shooting her energy out to the whole world. She goes past the audience, past the cameras, into your souls, and she's just projecting this enormous, incredible light to all of us. And so sometimes that's a great place to start from. And then every once in a while, Beyonce will actually look at somebody in the crowd and they faint.
Like, oh, we got one,
yeah,
finally.
Oh, she looked at us. Oh,
finally.
Jesus. But yeah, you're giving that whole spirit out, and you're just projecting it out into the world, and that's a beautiful thing when you're comfortable up there and you can do that.
When you got the call for the Bad Singer, where were you?
I don't remember. I remember just my manager calling and saying, "There's this crazy new show idea. I don't know if you're interested, but there's a crazy new show called The Masked Singer." Coincidentally, a few days earlier, I had seen viral on Instagram, Ryan Reynolds was in Korea promoting Deadpool 2, I believe it was.
Wow.
He had dressed up as a unicorn and sang "Tomorrow, Tomorrow," and I was dying laughing. I'm a huge Ryan Reynolds fan, so I was dying laughing. So as soon as my manager said, "There's this show coming out of Korea that they're going to do an American version called The Masked Singer," I said, "I just saw Ryan Reynolds doing this. It looks hilarious." And so I went in for the meeting and got the job, and I mean, it's just been nothing but a blessing for my family and my career and everywhere.
That has to be a great feeling. That it's no auditions. Like we're just taking meetings.
Yeah, I mean, well, luckily, you've done enough that I had it on paper. They just want to know, are you going to be fun and easy to work with? And luckily, coming under my dad's, from my dad's footsteps, I'm easy to work with.
Who have been some of your favorite people to work with? Now, since you mentioned being fun and easy to work, who've been some of your favorites?
Well, obviously, Wheezy, Lil Wayne, Mary J. Blige,
Man.
because I grew up, loving her so much. Jay-Z, but like I was thinking, like the list of from
It's
Jay
so
to Busta to Ludacris to Kendrick to, I mean, I've had the honor of working with all these guys. Nas, I've got records with all these guys.
Dang.
So I've been so lucky to work with my idols, my peers, the guys that I respect the most, and the women that I respect the most.
How many songs are we looking at putting on this project that's coming around Valentine's Day?
I'm looking around 14 would be my ideal.
14?
Yeah, right around 14 would be ideal. But I got about 12, 13 that I'm excited about. I'm looking for those last couple to touch it off.
Now, do we have any other features besides?
I have a feature with this wonderful young artist named Ombre, who,
that's
do you
my
know
girl.
Ombre? She's
That's my
incredible.
girl.
She's incredible. So she did a remake of Lost Without You this year.
I think she got #1 for that.
I don't know if I don't know
feel like
if
she
it was a hit, but
I feel like she went #1 on radio for that. If I'm not
Crazy.
mistaken, I would have to check back. Ombre came through here.
I want to see that check if she went
Yeah.
#1. Way to go, girl. Let's
Hey,
get that
listen,
#1
yeah,
money.
She came through.
That #1 money.
She did a promo. She did an R&B night at Park. They did, which was so dope.
Yeah.
She was really dope.
She's just a dope person,
Yeah.
a dope artist and spirit, great writer. She wrote this song with me that is one of my favorite on the album. And as of right now, she's the only feature. What I like to do is make the whole album and then use features for remixes more often than I do, because nowadays everybody would love to hear a new version of a song from the album with another artist on it, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to pocket some of those records and start reaching out to other artists right now that like SZA, that I would love to be a part of the project.
Man, that is crazy.
But yeah, Ombre's crazy. She's so talented.
Now, what's your process for picking beats?
Well, I don't usually pick beats.
just make
I
them.
usually make them with
Yeah.
my production partner, Pro J. Shout out to Pro J. We've been doing it since the first album. Now, this album, I did reach out to work with other producers to get a different sound here and there, because it's like I like to invite other young writers in, other producers, because once we get a spark, I can bring it home. You know what I mean? I just need a new spark, need some fresh inspiration after sitting there trying to write songs for 30 years. It's nice to have a little bit extra inspiration. So, Jeff Giddy, who did On My Mama, very talented producer.
Oh,
Him and I did 2 records together.
The Victoria Monet On My Mama, right?
Yeah, On My Mama. This guy Jeff Giddy, though he plays every instrument, he's just a beast. He came up in Anderson .Paak's crew. So I did 2 with him. I did 1 with a guy named Jay Pound, who's an up and coming producer that I met through the Rock Nation family. And then there's this 19-year-old white boy. Shout out to Stevie Matthew. Super producer. He's a prodigy. Plays every instrument. Grew up in the same city in LA that I grew up in.
Wow.
And was actually the bass player that I wrote "Lost Without You" with. The guy who came up with the guitar riff for "Lost Without You" is his uncle, godfather kind of thing. So he's been teaching this kid. He calls me up earlier this year and goes, "Yo, there's this kid, 19-year-old kid named Stevie Matthew, white boy who's crazy talented. He's like you, blah blah blah." And him and I have so many musical similarities and inspirations. So we clicked instantly. We just made 2 records together that are crazy.
Oh man, so these should probably make the album, right?
No, I'm only mentioning the ones that are on the album.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
for
right.
sure.
Now, in the day and age where songs really short now, are you going short song or you going?
Yeah, I mean, I think
long?
I don't mind a short song, to be honest with you. I think the long songs are usually like if there's a great ballad, you know what I mean, that you want that ballad to last because you're in that moment with somebody. You don't want the ballads to be too short. But usually with the tempo records, or you're just trying to make people dance, you know, it's okay to get in, get out, give them something catchy to sing along to, and give them a great track, and then get on to the next thing to dance to, you know?
Now, with that being said, what you think about the music space we in right now with R&B?
Well, I love it. I mean, honestly, I think
so.
that people get a little too, it ain't what it used to be, it ain't this. But there's always average music that's out there, and there's incredible music. And the stuff that SZA is doing is, you know,
incredible.
It's at the level of the Lauryn Hills and the Mary J. Bliges, and I mean, what she is doing is incredible. And so I think, and her and these other artists, I think the women in R&B are crushing. There just aren't a lot of guys out there, you know. There just aren't a lot of fellas.
The women are killing
But the women are crushing. And even if you look at pop radio, it's Sabrina Carpenter, Billie Eilish. You know, the women are just crushing. The dudes got to step it up right now.
I don't know what's going on with us.
Dudes got to step it up.
If God blessed me with that talent, I would be out there doing my thing. But I don't.
Well, that's the beauty of it, is that they're inspiring me. I mean, the songwriting, the videos, the lyrics. I mean, these women are just crushing it. So I'm like, man, I gotta step up my game and get back in there. You know.
Got to. I know it would be possibly almost impossible for you, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. Does Robin Thicke have a Mt.Rushmore of R&B music?
Oh, yeah, I mean, there's so many great ones. Obviously, Stevie, because of the songwriting, the vocals, the musical
Stevie's
ability.
going on tour, actually,
yeah,
which I think is amazing.
I was driving down the PCH a few months ago, and I looked at my phone, and it was ringing. It said Stevie Wonder, and I was showing my girl. I was like, "Here, record this." You know, I was like, just to get a call from Stevie Wonder while you're
calling is crazy.
Just driving to tennis in the morning was pretty amazing.
Have you ever seen him driving to LA? I've heard stories of him driving to LA.
No, I have not. I'm sure. You know what, Stevie? Do whatever you want, Stevie. But yeah, okay. Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, and I'll just do fellas for this one, because if it was ladies, it would be like Nina Simone, Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, Mary J. Blige.
Okay.
But I'll say, who was it? Stevie,
so we had Stevie,
Marvin,
Mike.
And, you know, just for fun, I'm going to throw in Otis Redding. I'm going to go Otis, because I could go Bill Withers, but something about Otis Redding.
Heavy day.
Yeah, the way he sang, man, there was something really special about that,
Something really, really special about it, Mr. Robin Thicke. You know, you've made a lot of classic records, you know, to not just for people that's like in love and lost love, but, you know, for the cookout.
Yeah, man.
You know, you've definitely done your part to this, so I want to say thank you for being in my world musically, in my life musically. You know?
Hey, man, you know, I've always wanted to be part of the culture, and I want to stay part of the culture, and that means, you know, doing things the right way and making the right kind of music, man.
Doing things the right way and making the right kind of music. Let me ask you something. You've toured a lot. Do you have a favorite city that you love when you see it on your schedule? And it's like, oh man, I can't wait.
You know, I have the DMV shows are crazy out here. You know what I mean? And Atlanta, that's my city, and I would say New York, and even like Memphis, New Orleans, like, you know, down in the South, that's where my audience is.
Craziest thing you've seen on tour?
Oh man, craziest thing I've seen on tour.
Craziest tour story.
You know, those things are probably all just in the back of my mind somewhere. But I will say one really cool thing was being able to tour with Beyonce, and to see her do her sound checks and her perfectionism and just caring about every little detail of her show, and you can see why, you know, she is what she is. But being able to tour with her and see her process was pretty cool.
I can imagine that. Does it ever get a little overwhelming, like with the fans and everything?
You know, not at this age, I think, because most of the time it's just all love and respect and give me a hug and, you know, I love that song. Here, talk to my mama.
There we go.
I get a lot of cell phones. Talk to my mama. Say hi to my mama. But yeah, I mean, at this point, it's mostly just love fest. It's all flowers and love fest and people saying words like legend and you don't realize that you think you're still young in the game. But, you know, I'm appreciating whatever place I have in people's hearts. And I'm still very hungry. I'm hungry like I was in the beginning because now I feel like I gotta prove myself. I like to take all the plaques off the wall and say we ain't done nothing. We ain't done nothing yet. And if we ain't done nothing and nobody knows what we can do, then how are we gonna show them?
That's right. Now you take the plaques off the wall. Do you take the money out the bank account?
No, we'll put them in the bonds.
Listen,
we'll put them into some bonds.
Put them in stocks and bonds. Put them in the stocks and bonds. Are you gonna do anything special for 20-year anniversary?
Of Evolution?
Lost Without, yeah.
Of Evolution?
Yep.
Yeah. In fact, I was planning on doing or considering doing like a one-man show to tell those stories of just the Evolution album, because that was the most kind of life-changing time and you know, experience in my life. So yeah, I'm thinking about it, but that would be 2006. So I got 2 years to plan 26.
You know what, 24 is over already.
Yeah, I know.
So you got to think, 24 is over. You got the album coming in 25.
Yeah, and then 26, a full Evolution tour. Yeah.
Get to it. You got a lot of work to do back there, Miss Publicist. You got a lot of work.
Shout out to Dom.
Yeah, Dom. We have a lot of work to do. Okay, a lot of work to do. That show is gonna sell out quick.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah. You see a 20-year Robin Thicke. I'm sure that first of all, it's gonna go viral everywhere because. Man, 20 years.
That was the album. No, there was so many songs on there that were a lot about love, but a lot about looking inside and figuring who you are individually and what you're going to do with your life and how you're going to better yourself and get over the toughest times in your life. That's what that album is about. And you have to evolve through your toughest times.
You have to evolve through your toughest times, and Mr. Robin Thicke, you seem to appear. You're looking great.
Thank you, sir.
Listen, you seem to have evolved. You know, you said last few years have been
we
tough.
learning.
We are still learning. I don't think we ever stop learning, do we?
We better not.
We better not stop learning. We better not stop learning. I want to thank you for being here with me today.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, this remix is coming this Friday, right?
Yep, remix with Dream Doll, and the video is going to come out, and everybody get to streaming I Know What to Do by Robin Thicke. I love you all. God bless you, and thank you for having me.
Listen, Fadam got the juice. I'm here. DTLR Radio. Mr. Robin Thicke, the legend himself, was just in the building, man. We're going to keep it going, all right? Right here on DTLR Radio.
Woo! Excellent.
Real quick, let me get a drop.
Yeah, whatever you need.
Robin Thicke, I'm plugged in with Fadam Got the Juice.
I'm sorry, is it Fadam?
Yep, Fadam Got the Juice.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Robin Thicke. I'm hanging with my boy Fadam, and we got the juice.
Hey, I like that. And then we're going to have you sun this wall outside.
Perfect.
Oh, right under this. Yep, one of these will work.
Thank you. I'll take my favorite color.
There you go.
I'm trying to light some on for you. Thank you. Oh, my man. All right,
You find yourself a square. You're kind of tall, so you actually might not need to lift like some of us do.
Dream Dollars right here. Dream Dollars right there. Yeah, Dream Dollars, she kind of went crazy a few times in here.
You need to lift like a little step ladder to go here. Let me just grab a little paper yellow so that's We need a